Yai lai lai yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai lai yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai lai yai lai 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 yai lai 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 lai. Boker Tov and an early Shabbat Shalom. We have been focusing for some time now on Shema, and this morning I'd like to reflect on a line that comes a little ways into the first paragraph. Vishinantam levanecha, Vishinantam levanecha, as we chant it, which means you shall teach or instruct your children. So let's think about this verse for a moment. Who exactly is this verse speaking to? You shall teach your children. What about those who don't have children? Or what about those whose children have grown up and are no longer looking to you for lessons? So the answer is that our tradition insists that teaching our children is not just for immediate parents. If you do not have a child or a grandchild or even a niece or a nephew, you can still fulfill the mitzvah, Vishinantam levanecha, teach your children. It's interesting to note that the Hebrew words for parents, horim, and teachers, morim, come from the same root, which is Torah. Horim is parents, morim are teachers, and both are derived from Torah, which is to say parents and teachers are guides. Torah is a guide to us, and parents and teachers both give the gift of Torah as a roadmap to the next generation of Jewish leaders. No less than the Rambam, Moses Maimonides, one of our greatest sages of all time, taught us that a duty rests on every knowledgeable person, every scholar in Israel, to teach all disciples who come to them, even if they're not their children, as it is said. And then he quotes this verse, Vishinantam levanecha. He quotes, you shall teach them to your children, to prove that we're obligated to teach even those who aren't our children. He adds that according to our authorities, the term levanecha, to your children, includes disciples, includes students. For students are in another place referred to as children. And the sons, the students of the prophets, came forth. Now, these were not literally the sons of the prophets. They were their students, their learners, their proteges. And so, just as we are commanded to honor and revere our parents, so, says the Rambam, are we under obligation to honor and to revere our teachers. Not everyone gets to be or chooses to be a parent, but everyone gets to be and should choose to be. Indeed, everyone is obligated to be a teacher to the next generation. We all have wisdom to share. And so this morning I invite you to take a few moments and reflect perhaps on one or two of the great teachers who have changed your life for the better. It can include parents or not. You might think of your school teachers, of a rabbi or clergy person, of a professor, of a coach, of any sort of role model who taught you essential life lessons that you might choose to pass on to the next generation. Reflect on them and feel gratitude for them in your heart. And then ask yourself, how might I be a teacher, a kind of honorary parent to someone who needs one right now? Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Give thanks for our teachers, for the lessons they teach with their words and with their lives. For our Omer count this morning, we are focusing on Gevura Shebamalchut, on power within sovereignty. Reflect on when have you felt the power of God's majesty, or the majesty of the world, or the universe, or the natural world, how that made you feel, perhaps gave you a sense of humility and also strength. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat haomer hayom arba'a v'arba'im yom shehem shisha shavuot u'shnei yamim la'omer. Today is the 44th day of the Omer, which is 6 weeks and 2 days of the Omer. I'll hope to see many of you tonight, 6 o'clock, for our Kabbalat Shabbat, together with Chavurah B'Yachad in Salt Lake City via Zoom, and tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock, for our Kabbalah Shabbat morning service. Again, Boker Tov and Shabbat Shalom.